Well. Look who's finding out the hard way. For years we've been hearing all this noise about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion was some kind of a handout for Black people. But surprise, surprise, turns out DEI was actually meant for everyone. And now that it's getting banned, guess who's getting hit the hardest? Palm color women, white LGBTQ folks, and a whole lot of palm color people in general. Y'all guys voted against your own interest, and now it's starting to sink in. In less than a week, palm color people are waking up to the fact that DEI wasn't just about helping Black folks. It was protecting palm color people too. And now companies are slashing DEI roles, cutting jobs, and the finding out part is hitting differently. But don't just take my word for it. I've collected a few clips. Some white folks are getting hit by these layoffs, and others of the smart ones trying to educate their own on what's really happening. Watch these clips.
Unfortunately, the company was acquired and a lot of us were let go. Well, not how I wanted to start my 2025. I was just laid off. This is actually the first time I've ever been laid off, so I don't really know what to even do or how to process anything. I just dropped off my laptop. It sucks the most because I seriously was only at this company for 2 months. I literally got this job in October and loved every single second of it. Unfortunately, the company was acquired and a lot of us were let go. Nothing you can do about it, but it definitely sucks. I have no idea what I want to do. I don't know if I want to even keep working for a company or what. I got my real estate license back in early October. I'm like, maybe I should just pursue that. But I also really liked the idea of having like a stable income with a job. I'm also getting married this year and have lots of expenses. So yeah, I still know it's going to be a great year. Like, I'm truly trying to be positive. I know everything happens for a reason, but yeah, I guess we'll see what happens.
Next time you hear someone say they agree with Donald Trump rolling back all DEI efforts, ask them what it stands for. Say, what does DEI stand for? I had this exact conversation just a few days ago with someone, and they were going on and on about how much they hate DEI and how, someone in their industry, a woman, has a much higher up position than this particular person did, and it was a DEI hire and all this other stuff. I said, what does DEI stand for? I don't know. You don't know what DEI stands for, but you're bitching about it? DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Inclusion. Oh my God. Horrible. Inclusion, a little inclusion, fucking horrible. What we teach our fucking kids. Horrible stuff, all you God-loving people. God forbid we teach inclusion. But seriously though, say, what does it mean? What does it stand for? Because they don't even fucking know. And you know what it stands for? It stands for white, Christian, straight men being terrified that people are more qualified than them, and they're actually going to have to work harder to now get the jobs. They're going to have to work harder to prove that they deserve the job. You know what this person who was complaining about this woman being a DEI hire missed the entire point? She's way more qualified. Way more qualified. That's why she got the job. Not because she's a woman, because she's way more qualified than you small fucking white man. That's why, you dumbasses. Guys, just do a Google, just learn what DEI stands for before we start complaining about it. And then also just try harder, work harder. White men don't deserve everything. White, straight, Christian men don't just deserve everything. They don't.
I just got laid off about an hour ago. I cried for a while, and I think the hardest part about it is I loved my job, I cared so much, but knowing that you put your full effort towards something and then feeling like they decided it wasn't enough or it wasn't worth enough. Like right now I feel just very not even undervalued, because I clearly am not valued, but that all of my effort wasn't good enough, or it wasn't important, or it wasn't relevant. I got laid off today, and it's just, I don't know. And LA is burning and their fires are everywhere and I got laid off and I don't have a job. So like in perspective, it's not that big of a deal. There's other jobs, but it goes so much deeper than not having a job. So yeah, I don't know. I'm jobless.
I've recently been let go from my job due to the administrative changes, and I just wanted to tell my story. I was in charge of DEI at Skittles, and my job was making sure that everyone had a chance to taste the rainbow. Due to both the fact that DEI has been cut and the fact that it is now illegal to even think about rainbows, I'm out of a job. Unfortunately, Skittles will only be allowed to manufacture orange Skittles for the time being. No yellow, no purple. Red is still, they're not totally sure on the wording on that one, so they're waiting to hear back, but they're not making red as we speak. Green, none of those colors are allowed anymore because they do together make the rainbow. And that's illegal, obviously. I really loved my job. I loved hiring these other colors, giving them a chance to shine. And I don't think that orange should be the only color. I don't think it's fair. Orange is fine. It's not the worst, but it's not the best either. And even if they do get to keep red, I think this is a gross miscarriage of justice. And I just wanted to tell my story because I do feel like it needs to be out there. Like this is what's happening in this country right now.
2025, I'm gonna need a refund because this year sucks already. I just got laid off for basically the second time back to back. If you didn't know, I worked at Twitter and I got laid off when Elon Musk acquired the company. Since then, I've been working at a content strategy agency type place as a director of strategy, and I just got laid off yesterday. It's surreal because I definitely didn't want to go through another layoff. Being laid off the first time was one of the most traumatic events that have ever happened to me, especially because it happened so publicly. This time was obviously a little bit different, but the company lost some clients and now here I am without a job. It's hard not to reevaluate my life choices at this point. I work in tech, and so I'm wondering if that's still what I should be doing. It's hard to feel like secure in a job anymore. It feels like those days are over. So I don't know if I should be in tech anymore or working this corporate life. I love the security of having a stable job, but that hasn't been the case for quite some time for me because it's just been so unstable in the industry. So I'm considering other options, obviously. I had a wild idea. I think somebody on TikTok said, hey, become an ultrasound tech. That takes like 2 years of schooling and then you're in. And I was like, sounds good to me. But again, I also really enjoyed my job doing marketing, strategy, working in the digital space, working with tech. It is fast paced and it's very exciting. So I honestly don't know what to do. If you have any advice for me, I would love to friggin' hear it because I'm swirling. This all happened yesterday. So I've been like waffling between panic applying to places and just rotting on the couch. Would love something more constructive to do with my time. But if you have any advice, any tips, any job leads or connections, please let me know. I'm in the Bay Area, remote work, anything. I want to be busy. I'm somebody who likes to do things. So this is my plea to you, TikTok. Thank you so much.
I found it incredibly troubling that 76% of all chief diversity and inclusion officers are white. And let me tell you why. I think there are a lot of reasons, but let me tell you probably the biggest reason. It shows that even within the field, that we have dedicated ourselves to ensure that environments are diverse, equitable, and inclusive, we have failed. We have not been successful at doing what we aim to do. And what it shows is that employers whom are hiring chief diversity officers are doing exactly the thing, the bad thing, that we try to go against in the DEI field. They are obviously hiring people with whom they feel the most comfortable and the safest, which is human nature. But they need to work against that, right? And so we have DEI because we're trying to challenge our own biases, the things that we have, our nature to choose to work with people and be around people that we feel fits in, melds into the culture, that you can see yourselves working with. Because guess what? We feel comfortable with them. Everything about DEI is set up to make you feel uncomfortable, to get to the place that everybody feels comfortable, if that makes sense. So DEI begs of people to challenge themselves and to place themselves in situations that aren't necessarily comfortable, with people with whom they don't feel immediately comfortable, with asking themselves questions, because most of the work is inner, that make them feel uncomfortable. So if a company is serious about DEI efforts, they first must be willing to be uncomfortable, and that is oftentimes reflected in the person they choose to lead those efforts.
Okay, so this is hilarious. I just saw this white lady on here complaining that she just lost her job because she was hired under the diversity, equity, and inclusion program at her work. And you can see she didn't want to say it, but she really wanted to be like, but I'm not black. But that's not what diversity, equity, inclusion meant. The number one recipient of DEI hires is white women. The number one people who have benefited the most from this whole affirmative action and DEI hired has been white women, 100%. And now all these white women who voted for Donald Trump are going to find out that DEI included them. And I'm sorry, but this is one of the best fuck around and find out moments yet, because these women are the ones who deserve to be fired. I'm sorry, like, if you voted for Donald Trump and you get fired because you were a DEI hire, don't come looking to me for sympathy.
Okay, I'm going to say this, and I pray that it gets to the people that need to hear it. DEI does not mean hiring unqualified people. I'm going to say that again. DEI does not, has not, never will mean hiring unqualified people. In fact, it does the exact opposite, right? It ensures that we have the most qualified people by acknowledging that systemically and historically, people in marginalized groups have been ignored or overlooked for opportunities despite their many significant talents. So when I see like these right-wing people who probably can't even tell us what DEI stands for, screaming for a colorblind merit-based system, I ask you, is that what you really want? Is it? Because realistically, the only unqualified people that have been given opportunities because of their race, gender, or sexuality are straight white men. Our institutions are flooded with mediocre, talentless individuals in positions of power strictly because they were straight white men. So before you start calling somebody a DEI hire to diminish their accomplishments, I suggest you look inward, okay? Because you know what they say, those in glass houses.
It is truly wild to me how many women will say, I want parental leave, I need sick time, I need accommodations, I'm a parent, yet they will say things like, I don't believe in DEI. That just tells me that they believe DEI is only there to allow people with brown skin to gain access to jobs that white people think belongs to them. That is what that tells me, because DEI is so much more than allowing marginalized communities to gain access to jobs they didn't have access to before. Like, it is so much more than that. Honestly, that should be enough. And if you want to get rid of that, like, ugh, gross. But like, also the fact that you don't understand that it's so much more than that. And so you can't say, I like parental leave, I want parental leave, and then say, I hate DEI. Okay, well, best of luck with the motherhood penalty. It's about to get a lot worse. Honestly, it blows my mind because so many women follow me because they love how I talk about the mental load and the motherhood penalty and the lack of affordable childcare and the need for paid parental leave. And then they'll say something like, you had me until DEI. You had me until you said DEI. I can't believe you support that. Are you kidding? Honestly. People seem to not be able to put two and two together. They really can't, and they just like really show their true colors in those moments. And these are truly wild times. These women want to advocate for workplace protections for mothers, for pumping and parental leave and all of the things that they need. But everyone else, sorry. Nope, you don't get workplace protections, just us.
If you think DEI is just about race and gender, you're missing the bigger picture. Trump's new executive orders rolling back DEI initiatives, it's now impacting organizations in the private sector. So let's talk about what this actually means. I've been a recruiting and HR leader for over a decade, and there's a big misconception that if you're not in this field and line of work or in a hiring manager position, you think DEI is all about hiring a certain number of people to meet a quota, and that is not the case. It's also about diversity of thought. It's about creating spaces from different backgrounds and experiences that see the world differently and creating a safe environment for them to thrive in. It's still about hiring the most qualified person for the job, and it evens the playing field. When we eliminate these DEI programs, we're not just shutting out marginalized groups, we are shutting down innovation. The best companies, the best leaders, the best organizations thrive. They're successful because they don't just have people at the table that look and think like them. They have different experiences. They come from different companies. They learn different ways of solving problems. And because of that innovation, they can succeed. I'm terrified that when we take this away, we risk having a safe place for people to speak up, for people to think differently, to see the world differently, to solve problems differently, because you're only learning one way of doing it.
All right, so let's bring this home, shall we? If there's one thing that's crystal clear after everything we've just gone through the past 1 week, it's that banning DEI is hitting palm color people the hardest. And if you're just tuning in on this conversation and still a little bit behind, don't worry, I got you. So let me break it down one more time because the facts are the facts and the receipts are easy to find. First of all, let's get rid of this long-running myth that DEI was all about handouts to Black people. That was never the case. The number one group benefiting from DEI initiatives are palm color people. That's straight from the U.S. Department of Labor. And after them, we have a breakdown of other groups that fell under the minority umbrella. The ranking goes like this. Number one are Latinos and Hispanics Americans. Number two are Asian Americans. Number three, we have Native Americans. And number four, we have individuals with disabilities. Number five, we have veterans. Number six, the LGBTQ plus community. And way down at the bottom, the group that got the least out of DEI policies are Black Americans. Checkmate. Now, I know some people are going to feel a way about that, but don't argue with me. Argue with the data, okay? And they're feeling skeptical about this. Guess what? Google is free, right? Type it in, do your research, and see for yourself. But what's wild is that Black people have been saying this for years. We've been calling it out. We've been trying to tell, all of y'all, the palm colors, Latinos, other minorities. We've been trying to tell you, Black Americans have been trying to tell you that DEI wasn't what you thought it was, but who actually wanted to listen to, a Black person who was willing to take Black people's words, Black American words, not the same folks who are now crying out, losing their jobs. That's for sure. Now here we are. The very people who fought so hard to get rid of DEI are realizing that they were actually the biggest beneficiaries of it. And let's be honest, this isn't just a coincidence. there was a deliberate effort to make people think that DEI was some kind of a special treatment for black folks, when in reality it was just making sure that everyone had opportunities. And now that it's being dismantled, the real impact is being felt. And it ain't us, it ain't black people, it ain't black Americans feeling it the most. And let's talk about how this whole situation could have been avoided if people had just listened, if people had taken a step back and actually paid attention to what black folks were saying, instead of reaching out of fear, misinformation, or straight up resentment. But nope, that didn't happen. Instead, people voted against their own interests, supported policies they thought were hurting them. And now they're the ones getting hit the hardest. FAFO season in full effect and reality is setting in. Please don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not saying this to be petty, okay? Maybe just a little bit though, okay? But more than anything, this should be a lesson in how misinformation can be weaponized, a lesson in how easy it is to manipulate people into fighting against things that actually help them. A lesson in why it's so important to critically think before jumping on the latest outrage bandwagon. And let's not forget, this isn't over. The impact of banning DEI is just getting started. I'm sure you all know that, right? Palm colors, you know that, right? We are going to see more job losses, more industries shifting, and a whole lot more people realizing that what they thought was just a woke agenda was actually a structure that protected them too. So my advice, start paying attention now, start questioning things now, and maybe, just maybe, start listening to the people who have been calling this out for years. So what do you guys think about this? Were you surprised by any of this? Did you already know this was going to happen? Let me know this. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below, because I know this conversation is about to get real interesting. And if you found this video informative, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, because trust me, this is just the beginning. I'll have more content, more video like this in future. So make sure you turn on your notification bell as you subscribe to this channel. I will definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.